Guys, it's time for a featured speaker. So I want to bring on, she's been a coach since 2014. I'm always adding wrong. I forget that we're 2021. I'm thinking, oh, 6 years. 7 years, Kelsey, 7 years. Her team name is Simply Beautiful. She's been an elite coach 4 times, you guys. She's a 7-star diamond coach, and she has spent 79 months in Success Club. For those of you who are new, Success Club is helping 3 new people each month get into a total solution. She's done that 79 months in a row. From Charlotte, North Carolina, Kelsey Smith. Hello, hello. I know. Long ribbon of accolades, right? Darren Happy.
Yes, it's exciting.
Welcome, Kelsey. I'm going to step aside because I want to know, what was that wake-up call in your coaching journey that you want to share with us today?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Honestly, I'm going to be so transparent with you guys today. This opportunity found me exactly when I needed it the most. To put it simply, I was an anxious, depressed, overwhelmed, and underpaid news reporter. I remember the expectations that I had when I took on that job at 22 years old and realizing how quickly it was absolutely nothing like I expected it to be. I view choosing your college major like the episode of Friends when Rachel tells Ross that she's pregnant. So if any of my Friends fans are out there, you know what I'm talking about right now. He's in shock. He's screaming super loud. They should have put that on the box, right? She screams back, it is on the box. And then he responds, it should have been in big, bold letters. Well, that's how I felt a year into this career. No one told me how unglamorous being a reporter truly was going to be. No one told me how little I was going to be paid, how underappreciated I was going to be. I started at a very small news station in Clarksburg, West Virginia. My salary was $21,000 a year, which after taxes comes out to roughly $500 every 2 weeks. I lived in a horrible apartment where the roof leaked. I didn't feel safe. And I remember countless times having to pack a bag and drive to the gym so I could shower just because the water heater went out. That place was all I could afford at the time. I was broke. I found myself in a place where I was choosing between gas and groceries. And in turn, I found depression knocking at my door. So in April of 2014, just 6 months after this new reality I just mentioned was kicking in, I was scrolling through social media and I came across a post from a girl that I used to work at a bar in college. And honestly, I remember being so thrown off by the post. And the reason I was thrown off is because she looked really happy. She looked fulfilled. And the last thing that you want to see when you're barely hanging on by a thread is someone else living their best life. So I pretty much rolled my eyes and kept scrolling. But here's the thing about consistency. She kept showing up every day. There she was, working out, raving about her results. And so finally I reached out and I asked her about the brand new 21-day fix. I'm showing my coaching age here. And she explained it all to me. And since I couldn't afford Shakeology, I was the girl that actually went behind her back, went on the website and bought it without just the DVDs. So never count those people out. When my package came in the mail though, I will never forget that level of excitement. I'll never forget the way that I felt when that box showed up at my doorstep. In 2 weeks, I lost 7 pounds and I was raving about it. I was talking to anyone that would listen to me about it. And completing 21-day fix for the first time was the first time I followed through on a promise to myself in a very long time. I was empowered, I was excited, and I was beyond ready for what's next. But at the same time, remember, I did this on my own. I didn't have a challenge group. I didn't even have a coach. So I kept reaching out to that original person that I followed on social media, and she would always help me, even if I didn't purchase from her. She gave me a free sample of Shakeology because I was all up in her business about something free. I had no idea that there was a business opportunity. I wasn't making any money. I was just a believer who was proof that these products worked. And in 2 weeks before I even finished the program, I needed everybody to know about it. So I reached back out to that same girl, the same girl who I didn't purchase through because I trusted her. I said I wanted to sign up as a coach so I could get a discount on Shakeology. But I remember that the moment I purchased it, I knew that this was going to be it. This is my way out of the way that I was feeling. And I owed it to my future to dive all the way in.
I can't tell you how many Friends references there are with coaching, right? It's on the box. I mean, you know, like the pivot, you know, when Ross says pivot, like how many times you have to pivot in your business. Thank you for sharing that story because It's so often that I hear people say, I didn't even know there was an opportunity. Mm-hmm. So there's a huge opportunity for letting people know that there's an opportunity.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. So audience, there are two things in coaching that just don't sound very sexy: time management and goal setting, right? It's like eating your vegetables, but those who are mastering time management and goal setting are doing very well in this business. So you all have something to learn today. Goal setting. If you don't set goals, no growth, right, Kelsey?
Yep, that is the key.
That is the key. So I'm going to step aside because I know you put together some points for people who can create a goal-focused culture on their teams. So take it away, Kelsey.
Awesome. Well, it might not be a sexy topic, but I'm promising you guys this is going to be well worth your time to listen. I want to talk to you guys about something today that I wish I would have known at the beginning of my coaching journey, which is the power of effective goal setting. And I want to be very clear before I get started. This is not going to be your traditional how to set goals type of call. I'm not talking about Beachbody goals like rank or elite. Today, I want to talk to you about setting goals for your life. This subject is so near and dear to my heart because 5 years ago, I can honestly say that I was doing this business wrong. And I do not believe that this call could be as effective as it will be unless I tell you how I went wrong before I teach you the way that I fix it, in case that you are currently sitting exactly where I was. In 2015, I was a newer coach who was very excited, but I kept finding my business at a standstill. And I believe that there were a couple of reasons for that. And maybe some of you are dealing with some of these right now. And I invite you to be brave and to share these things, because I think that you're going to be pretty impressed to see that you're not alone. So let's go back to 2015 and tell you what I was struggling with. First off, I was comparing myself to other coaches. And that was probably my biggest struggle at the time. 2, I was basing how successful I was based off of the benchmarks in the company. 3, I found myself chasing other people's visions instead of creating my own. And last, I didn't have a clear reason on why I was even pushing for these benchmarks. And then to top it all off, I was only setting Beachbody goals and I wasn't setting life goals. The coach that I was back in 2015 just failed to realize that elite or all-star or diamond wasn't going to be the end-all be-all for me. I failed to realize that these benchmarks were placed in front of me as tools so that I could get closer to the life that I wanted for myself. All of these achievements and all these milestones that the company sets for us, they're important. I'm not taking those down. They're necessary. But unless you understand why you are pushing for them and the impact that they can make on your life, you are always going to feel stuck in your business. So today, my goal is to share 4 things that I did that helped pull my business out of a rut, help me find purpose in my goals, and to grow it in a way that was authentic, sustainable, and most importantly, fun. And so I want to tell you right now, I still do all of this to this day for myself, and I encourage my team to do the same, no matter where they are in their business. So let's get started. So first thing that I want to leave you guys with, you cannot set goals until you create the vision. I think a lot of times new coaches have a hard time seeing the vision when they're just getting started. But I can tell you straight from the heart that this can be done at any level in the business. Not just can be done, but it absolutely needs to be done. The faster you get into a routine of vision, the better. Okay, so I personally have a 5-year, a 1-year, and a quarterly vision. And in a nutshell, to break it down for you, I write out where I want to be 5 years from now. I write out that what I want to achieve in the current year, which is obviously now 2021. And then I have a vision by quarter. Each of them are aligned. So they're all connected. My quarterly is designed to get me closer to my yearly. My yearly is designed to get me closer to my 5-year plan. So when I write out my vision, I ask myself really simple questions, and then I answer them like they already happen. So I want to give you some of the questions that I ask myself quarterly, yearly, so that hopefully maybe you can start asking these for yourself too. And I have my team do this. The first question I ask myself is, what happened in my business? So maybe I write down, I rank advance my business to diamond because I was excited about the 645 launch. I helped 20 new clients start with 645. I helped 4 new coaches get ready. So I'm talking as if they've already happened. The second question I ask myself is, what happened with my finances? For me personally, this quarter, I wrote something down like I paid off my husband's student loan. Now, I do want to say that Beachbody does not guarantee any level of success or income, and the Beachbody coach opportunity, every coach's income depends on his own efforts, diligence, and skill. And I'm telling you, that might sound like a really big one for finances, but some of the times I ask my coaches these, and my newer coaches will say something as simple as an extra $50 on a credit card. That's a game changer. That's a great, great goal. For number 3, I ask, what is my home like? And you might be thinking, what does this have to do with anything? I promise I'm telling you why. For this one, I wrote down, literally for this quarter, my home is probably still a mess. I'm a new mom, but I'm going to work in a way to budget. I want to earn enough where I can hire a house cleaner at least twice a month for some extra help. Fourth question I ask myself, what are my relationships like? Maybe I write something down like I'm going out once a week with another mom. I do weekly date nights with my husband, even if it's pizza on the floor because we can't find a babysitter, right? I think I'm on 5, right? Yeah. 5th question I ask myself is, how do I feel about my body? And this is an important one. We are coaches. Our job is to prove these products work. So how do we want to feel in our body? And so for quarter 3, maybe you write something down as simple as, I feel amazing because I am all in on 645. I drink my shake every single day. I'm committed to the ultimate portion fix. And last but not least, I ask myself quarterly, what do I do with my free time? And that could be as simple as I sit out on the porch and I read a book. We're all going to have different answers to these questions because we all have different visions for our lives. Maybe some of you saw some of the things I said and said, that's really exciting and cool. But I'll tell you right now, my newer coaches, when I ask these questions, I get different answers. And every single time that I go out there and I ask them to set goals by month or by quarter, I love looking at those physical goals that they set for themselves because it tells me how to still be their coach on these other things too, guys. Like, that's what's so important about it. Knowing what I personally want to achieve in every category of my life gives me a starting ground to start setting goals to make this life a reality. Without this step, without knowing what you're pushing toward, it's going to make it really, really hard to find purpose in the goals that you set for yourself. And look, I know we have all heard that saying, you need a why that makes you cry. And maybe I'm the only one that's going to say this to you, but I don't think that your why needs to make you cry. You need a why that makes you move, that makes you take action. These questions above might be simple, and when you answer them for the first time, it might feel really weird, and it might feel super basic. But the thing that I want you to remember is that this is what you want, and that is why it's worth fighting for. When you answer straight from the heart, you're literally sharing the reason you're doing this business. And without a deep reason why, you're just checking off boxes on that Success Club tracker. But when you have a vision deep within your soul that you're going to help these women finish 645, and that you know how you're going to feel when somebody messages you and says, you changed my life, or how you're going to feel when you have some extra cleaning help around the house when you feel swamped, or when you're imagining how you're going to be able to take your husband to dinner when you haven't been able to pay or contribute anything in years, you're not just checking off boxes anymore. You're working with intention. You're working with purpose. It's important. It's vital. And so that leads me into number 2. So now that you know what you're pushing for, once you've answered those questions for yourself, it's time to set goals to make this life a reality. And so I personally don't really think it's a good idea to set more than 3 goals per quarter, because in my opinion, anything over that can be pretty overwhelming. More than 3 goals becomes a to-do list. And I don't know about you, but there is nothing more intimidating than a to-do list that never gets checked off. I challenge you, as you're making your goals, to only make one of them a business goal. Make the other 2 life goals so that you can get to that, closer to that vision in step 1. For example, if this is a newer coach, these goals could be become a success starter. That's your business goal. And then the other 2 might be pay $300 off of my credit card and weekly date nights with my spouse that I can pay for. It can be simple as that. And once you pick those 3 goals, your job now is to write down everything that you need to do in order to make it happen. This can be more so of that to-do list 5 that we're talking about. And the only rule that we have when you're setting down my to-do list to make this goal happen is that it has to be something you can control. So for example, if we go back to that success starter goal, so again, why am I even saying it, right? Like you have to set the goal and why do I want it? So you can earn that coach test group and a summit ticket. Maybe you would write out that goal and underneath, write down what you personally can control to make that happen. Those could be things like complete my Success Club tracker every day. Go all in with 645 and share the journey on social media. Invite 10 people a day instead of 3. Check in with my upline on Friday for accountability. Create a solid follow-up system. All you need is simple, effective, actionable steps that make you move, right? And on the other side of it, something you're not going to write down is Laura achieves Emerald or 10 new coaches join my team. Those are not in your control. But how do you make those things happen? What we just talked about, right? So once you do this for all 3 goals, this is the best part. Once you do this for all 3 goals, you can literally create a to-do list by week for every single quarter. And then you just go and do them, right? I'm telling you right now, everything I've ever achieved in my business is a result of writing it down on paper first. There is a reason everything I'm talking about today flows all together. The vision leads to the goals. The goals get you closer to the vision. A vision without a plan is a dream. And that's what goals do for you. They give you the plan. And when I was starting in the business, my goals were small. What I wrote down for this exercise in 2014 is not even comparable to what I'm writing down in 2021. And that is how I know this is working. Nothing is too small. Nothing. But everything needs to be written down with a plan in order to make it happen. So number 3. Last, I want you to get comfortable with tweaking and celebrating. I have to take a second and stress the importance of pivoting, another Friends reference, and also recognizing a win. First, I need to make sure you understand this. You have to be okay with adjusting as you go. I wish I could tell you that you're going to finish your plan, you're going to have the vision, you're going to have the goals, and then you're guaranteed that all of your goals are going to happen. No. It's not going to happen. And while the goal should never change, because remember, it's going out there to change your life. So the goal shouldn't be changing unless you have a different vision for your future. The tactics and the things that you do and the timelines, they're going to probably have to a couple times. You can't control that you're 1 person away from Diamond and you set that date for this Thursday, August 12th, but then Sally cancels her HD on August 11th and now you're 1 short. You can't control what Sally did, but you can pivot, you can tweak, you can adjust, and you can say, okay, Sally quit. What do I need to do to get back on track? Self-accountability, friends, self-accountability. And then also on the celebration side, if you want to find joy in this business, you need to focus more on what you're doing right instead of everything going wrong. Celebrate everything. Everything. Who cares if you got ghosted 13 times this week? You completed your Success Club tracker every single day? Wonderful. You took action. Celebrate it. Oh, you got 2 coach cancellations all this week? Their loss, friend. You had, think about the 2 people that told you that you inspired them with that vulnerable post you were scared to put up. Celebrate all of it. And the last thing I want to tell you, step 4, is extra tips to stay on track. This is a little bonus because this is what I get asked all of the time. Okay, Kelsey, so I sat down, I created the vision. I know what my 3 goals are. I won't change the goal. I'll start tweaking. What can I do now to ensure that I'm staying on track? There's a couple things that I do every single quarter that I make sure that I'm staying in alignment with what I'm pushing for. First things first is an accountability partner, someone who's going to lift you up. An accountability partner isn't someone you get on a call with and listen to each other complain for an hour. This is somebody that is going to be there to lift you up and to hold you accountable to your goals. My upline and I meet once a week, and it is amazing to hold each other accountable to these visions every single quarter. Reading the vision daily, or if you're somebody who can't really sit down and you're crazy like me with a little one, what I do is actually record my vision every quarter in the voice memos on my phone, put in some AirPods in the morning, and I listen to myself saying what I'm working so hard for. I express gratitude every single day. I write down those 3 to 5 things that I'm grateful for and why I'm grateful for them, because it's a different feeling when you say why. I have a journal of celebrations. Just like I told you, celebrate everything. I write down 3 things that went really well for me that day that got me closer to my ultimate vision, because I want to keep those in the forefront of my mind. And the last thing that I do at the beginning of every quarter, and this is my fun one, is that I always send my vision to 2 to 3 people that are outside of Beachbody that have no idea what I do for a living. And it's usually my family. I love sending this vision to my family, who still hasn't signed up with me, by the way, 7 years in. I love telling them what I'm working toward. And I really love sending them a message at the end of the quarter once I finish it and make it happen. Vision, goals, tweak, celebrate, accountability. That's it. Every quarter, every year, until the end of all time.
So good. You know what? Self-talk, positive self-talk is so critical. You know what? I love that you said focus on what you're doing right. We are so judgmental of ourselves and others, hence the Olympics. Like, all we ever do is judge what people are doing wrong and ourselves. And you know what? That's going to stop. Today is to start looking at what you're doing right, and don't worry about the ghosting 13 times. Kelsey, I pretty much know what's been the key factor of your success over the last 7 years, but why don't you share what was the epiphany for you? What has been, what has helped you be successful?
So this question hits so close to my soul, because the moment my daughter came into this world, everything shifted for me. I was running like crazy toward all the accolades that this company talked about, and thinking that that was what was going to make me feel successful. That was what was going to get me where I wanted to be. And the thing is that I was never getting any closer. I was never finding more joy. And that's because accolades are not the end game. They are tools. And the benchmarks that this company has placed in front of me for the last 7 years were placed there specifically to get me closer to where I want to be in my life. This business is the vehicle for the life that I want for myself and for my family. And the accolades are there to keep me on track to making it happen. So a quick story to leave you all with, to give you some perspective. The day that my elite flowers came this year, one of the best days of the year, I opened that box with so much excitement, and I showed my daughter, and she was 10 months old at the time. She looked at them and she crawled away. And I had this moment where it hit me really hard that she's not going to remember this. She won't remember when I walk across the stage at Summit. She won't remember my name being called. And as she gets older, maybe she'll sit in the stands and she'll proudly watch me, but she'll probably never think about it ever again. And that realization right there made me realize that my goals needed to be bigger, because what she is going to remember is me taking her to Disney World for the first time. The trip and the memories that we're going to be making when we go to Punta Cana or Mexico because mommy hit Success Club for 12 months in a row. The pool that we will one day have in our backyard. How mommy was present at every single event that she could be. The house that my husband and I are saving for right now, that she's inevitably going to call her forever home. The friends that she's going to make with the babies of the other mamas on my team. All of those things are on my vision board, because that is the vision. That's the life I am able to create. Thanks to this opportunity. And I push for things like Success Club. I push for elite, and I push for rank advancement, because when I push for those things, it's getting me closer to that life. So if I can leave you with anything, start small, but start.
So good, Kelsey. Thank you so much. I'm really, really happy for your success and that epiphany that you had. And the National Wake Up Call, not everybody can make it live, right? So you can go back, you can watch this again, you can listen on podcasts, and that's not just a shameless plug. It is that people need to be told several times before it hits them what vital behaviors are. And that is what you're doing, is you are setting goals. Those are vital behaviors for you in your business, and you don't let up. You have your daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly plan, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's made a huge difference. And we said it wasn't sexy, but you know what is sexy is you feeling great about your business and your daughter seeing how happy you are.
Yep. That's all that matters to me. I do the exact same thing everyone else does. I'm just very intentional with what I'm doing.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kelsey. We are done with the call. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you here next week. Bye-bye.